guys, so I am getting back into the vlogging thing. I took about like 2 weeks off to kind of just like have a mental breakdown about applying for new jobs again. We're over it. We're in the midst of job hunting thoroughly, and I am past the like irrational freakout stage. So pat on the back. Pat on the back. We're doing adult things. But that also meant that my reading was not like top priority, but I do have some things to talk about. And I have some books that I am reading, I guess in the first week that I did not vlog. So basically the last reading vlog that you saw up until now, I read The Poppy War. This book, I think I said this in another video, but I think I'm going to do a full review of this book. This book, I haven't binged through a book like this since The Name of the Wind, since A Court of Mist and Fury, since The Magicians. Like those three books are like the top of the top in my life. This one is now up there. This one is in there. I can't even tell you how much I love this book. This book definitely comes with a content warning. This is possibly the most graphically disturbing book that I've read. There's just one chapter in it that hits really, really hard. So the author actually tweeted about it saying to skip chapter 21 if you are kind of triggered by literally anything. Like every bad thing that a human can do is in chapter 21. Like there is extremely graphic genocide, mass killings, rape, abuse, just everything very triggering was in that. This, I think, was the first book that I've ever been reading and I actually had to put down and like take a breather from. It was rough. So if any of you are like me and you hear a description like that of a book, you immediately put it on your TBR, because I am a weird little individual, and if a book sounds disturbing or somebody said they were very triggered by it, I am immediately intrigued by it. So there you go. This book, I feel like I can't do it justice by a synopsis. It's just an amazing Asian-inspired fantasy story about like war and growth, and I don't know how to explain this. I think I'm going to try and actually form rational thoughts and make a legitimate review video for this, because it's been like 2 weeks since I finished this and I still can't stop thinking about it, but I also still can't form coherent thoughts about it other than like, this book is good. So I will get back to you on that. But hopefully I've piqued some of your interest, but also go into this with the warning that it's rough. Like it is a dark, dark story. So there's that. I literally have to open my Goodreads right now to tell you what else I've read because I don't remember. My brain is like, poof, gone. So I read The Poppy War. Oh, I picked up Red Winter after that because I really wanted another Asian-inspired fantasy story. And the Red Winter series by, who is it? Annette Marie has been recommended a lot to fans of ACOTAR. I wouldn't really go that far after reading it, but I wanted a fantasy story and I wanted some Asian influence, and that's what I got. It was infinitely fluffier than The Poppy War, let me tell you, but I'm pretty intrigued by that. It's one of those stories I feel like I didn't fully get immersed in. Like, I feel like I was kind of like floating on the surface of the story and enjoying it, but there wasn't enough to really like pull me under for it. But I'm actually going to continue the rest because I think I have the audiobooks for the second and the third book in that trilogy. So I'm hoping that it kind of gets better as it goes, but I was actually still pleasantly surprised by that. I think I gave it 3 stars. It's pretty unique. Basically a story about a girl who has been training and like preparing her entire life to be inhabited by a goddess. This is a weird, it's like a very modern, normal world, but she is very removed from it because she has spent her entire life in shrines preparing for this great embodiment of a goddess to take over her, and she's been preparing her entire life to be pure and perfect for this goddess, to be like a vessel for her. And then she finds out some weird stuff that's gonna happen, like she didn't get told the whole story when she was a toddler and found out about this. And so she kind of starts to like have her eyes opened to the big picture of the situation. So that is the course of the story. There's also a pretty cool romance guy in it who I feel like is what people compare to Rhysand. I would not go that far, but he's very intriguing. He's kind of like the same like smirky, cocky type of guy, and he's got fox ears. So he's got that going for him. Then I picked up Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I have read every Colleen Hoover book up until this point, and all she has written, in my opinion, has been new adult. I was under the impression this was also new adult. I think, from what I'm gathering after reading it and after reading reviews of it, this was her first attempt at YA, and I think she needs to stick to new adult, is my takeaway from the situation. It was not terrible, but I feel like she took the same type of core characters that she writes into her new adult stories and tried to blend it with a John Green type of writing style. Like, she made all of the characters overly quirky, overly eccentric, kind of the whole manic pixie dream girl type of thing, and I just don't think it worked well. I enjoyed reading it, but it's basically just like I don't even know how long it was, 300-400 pages of like unnecessary drama. And sometimes you need some drama, so it wasn't the worst thing that I've ever read, but it definitely was not her best and not like a well-rounded piece of literature. I think it literally just kind of read like a really dramatic family soap opera with some weird manic pixie dream girl type characters in it. So I gave that 2 stars. I still like Colleen Hoover's writing. It's still like candy, like you can just keep reading it, but I do not think that was her best work, and I kind of just want her to stick to new adult. Because she's good at writing the like smutty scenes that kind of redeem the like overly cliched characters that she writes. That's just my opinion. I know her writing has gotten problematic from what I've heard from a lot of reviewers, and I can see some problems that arise in her books, so I kind of agree with it. But at the same time, I go into her books knowing that they're going to be smutty fluff and not have that much substance to it. So in my opinion, she's still a fun author to read. Like, that's kind of what I go to if I don't really have anything else to read. So there's that. And as of right now, I am currently reading through Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett, I believe. I'm listening to it. It's good. I am having kind of the same vibes that I had with Of Fire and Stars, where I think my opinion of it is slightly greater just because of the amount of horse information that's in it. So I need to move away from like the horse stuff and look at it as its own story. And I think it's a cool story. I just don't think that it's fleshed out enough. Like, I just don't feel as involved in the story as I would like to be. So I think the concept is actually really cool, and I think it's building up to be something greater, but it's reading kind of quick and rushed in my opinion. I kind of want to be slightly more attached to the characters than I am. So as of right now, I'm like 10 chapters into it, and I'm loving the concepts. I like the animal influence. Again, the horse stuff is great. The night drakes are pretty cool. The romance is typical. The fantasy storyline is typical. So I'm kind of excited to see like what different things she puts in, or if it ends up just kind of seeming like a normal YA fantasy story, which I've read a lot of recently, so they're all kind of starting to blend together. This is a very long update. Maybe I'll just do this and maybe like a second part. That's kind of where I am right now. I just recently went to a book sale this past weekend, and I currently have, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like piles of books on the floor that I need to haul for you guys. I filmed a book haul the day before I went. I shouldn't have done that because now I need to film a second book haul because that's an obscene amount of books that I picked up. So I think I'm gonna go do that and possibly check in one more time for this vlog and wrap it up there. Well, it's probably about a week and a half later from that last update, so here I am with the wrap up for this reading vlog. I just continued to kind of not film anything for the past like week and a half. So, update of where I am with my reading. I have finished Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett, and my thoughts never really changed through the whole thing. I am more invested in the story as of now, like after completing it, and I think I definitely will continue on with this, but honestly, this kind of, like I said, has the same effect as Audrey Coldhurst's books, like Of Fire and Stars. I was just so invested in the fact that the author is an equestrian, and she gets her horse information accurate, and I am just kind of sold on that. So I liked it. I like where the story's going. Basically, pros for this book. Things that I liked. I liked that the main character, Kate, is definitely the stronger, the more powerful, and the more dominant character versus the guy who is kind of still struggling to like find his identity, and he is actually the one who goes through a lot of character growth and development, whereas Kate, our main protagonist, is pretty bitchin' to begin with, and I like that she was a very strong female lead and she never like wavered really. She just held true to her beliefs and everything, so I liked that. I liked all of the animal influence, not just the horse stuff. I liked the concept of the yor and the like blessed animal. I liked that it was not a definitive like set generational royalty passing down of the throne, sort of like the brothers who are next in line to the throne. It's not the oldest who's guaranteed to become the next king. They have to like compete and prove themselves against each other. So I like that whole thing without giving too much away about the plot there. I like how that was handled. Things that I didn't like, I just didn't like that it kind of fell into the stereotypical YA fantasy tropes. Like, it was somewhat predictable for most of the story, but I enjoyed it. I actually did really enjoy it. I think the writing was kind of a step above what a lot of the new fantasy debut books have been recently, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes, enough that I will probably actually end up purchasing this and the next one because, hello, it's a gorgeous cover. But that is kind of where I ultimately fall on that. I gave it 4 stars. Definitely not like mind-blowing, but definitely enough to hold my attention and go from there. Okay, and like I said, I kind of went on my first vacation that I've gone on like years. Me and my fiance just got away to the Poconos, which is the mountains in Pennsylvania, for a really amazing weekend, and I'm currently off of work this week, so reading is going to happen, but for the past like week or so, I wasn't really in a slump, but reading was, again, still definitely not my priority. I've just been job searching and focusing on that. But I am technically currently reading Furyborn, and by that I mean I was supposed to start a buddy read for this yesterday and I still haven't picked it up. But by the time you're watching this, I probably will have finally started. And I started listening to Only Human, the 3rd book in the Themis Files series. God, I hope it's not a trilogy because I'm not ready for this to end, but I know I've been talking about the series a lot recently. I highly recommend it, especially because everyone just kind of finished the Illuminae series. This is very similar, and I will recommend it to anybody who likes that series. Also, because I started listening to the audiobook of these, I think I've listened to all of the audiobooks of these, and it's very similar in that it has a full cast of voice actors and it has sound effects and it's mixed media, so I definitely am enjoying starting this over, and it does a very good job of kind of recapping what has happened up till this point, because I read Waking Gods, which is the 2nd one, last year, the week that it came out, so it's been a year since I've revisited this world, and they did a really good job of kind of filling you back in so that you don't have to reread. So I've been enjoying this. And that's about it. I'm about to get ready to film because I am out of pre-filmed videos and I just kind of need to get back in front of the camera like I'm doing right now. So I'm about to do that book haul that I talked about in the last clip and get that over with so I can shelve these books, but that will probably be the next video that you will be seeing. I think it's gonna go up tomorrow. I think I'm gonna edit this really fast, get it up today, and I'm gonna go get some videos filmed. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys still enjoy the vloggy type thing. Sorry I don't have like clips of the kids going into this. I will get back into doing that after I get through this whole week of job searching. So I will see you guys in the next video.